Hello everyone. Today we will discuss Chapter 1 Geography Class 10. Chapter topic is the resource. Now first of all, what is resource? Anything which can fulfill human need. Anything which can fulfill human need is called the resource. For example, plant. Plant can fulfill our medicinal needs, and at the same time it also fulfills our need of breathing, that is by providing oxygen. So plant is resource. Now the types of resource on the basis of origin. First, biotic. Biotic means living resource. For example, plant. Plant is living, so it is called biotic. And plant is a resource because it is fulfilling our needs. So plant is a biotic resource. Similarly, animals. Animal means living, so biotic. And animal provide us milk, meat, etc. So resource, that means the biotic resource animal also. Now abiotic resource. Abiotic resource means non-living resource. For example, air, water, sunlight, minerals, etc. For example, water. Water is non-living, so abiotic, and water is resource. Why resource? Because it fulfills our need of drinking, cleaning, washing, irrigation, etc. So it is resource, so abiotic resource. Similarly, air also, and minerals also. Minerals non-living, so abiotic, and at the same time minerals fulfills our many needs, so resource, that means abiotic resource. Now, on the basis of development, resources can be divided into number one, potential resource. Potential resource means the resource which we have not developed, or the resource which we haven't started utilizing. For example, Rajasthan and Gujarat area has enormous potential of wind and the solar energy, because the Rajasthan and Gujarat area receive maximum heat from the sunlight. Okay, so there the sunlight can be used for developing solar energy, but we haven't started or we haven't developed that. And at the same time, there is the speed of the movement, speed of the wind, or the movement of the wind, which is there. We can use that for generating wind energy, but we haven't utilized them. So that is the potential resource. Potential resource means the resource which we have not started utilization, or the resource which we haven't developed. Okay. Second one, developed resource. Developed resource, by the name only, the resource which is already developed. That means the resource which we have already surveyed, and we know how much the resource is there, what type of resource is there, etc. Developed resource means the resource which is already developed, which is we are using at present time also, we can say. Third one, the stock resource. Stock resource means the resource for using which we do not have technology. Stock resource means the resource for using which we do not have technology. For example, water, H2O, hydrogen and oxygen. We know that both are inflammable gas, but we do not have the technology so that replacing the petroleum we can run or start the vehicle with the water. Okay, that means पेट्रोल का जगह अगर हम गाड़ी में पानी डालेंगे और गाड़ी का चलाएंगे, ये तो टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप नहीं हुआ है. दैट मीन्स अगर ये टेक्नोलॉजी अगर आने वाले समय में डेवलप हुआ तो अलग बात है. तो इसी को स्टॉक रिसोर्स कहते हैं. लास्ट वन, रिजर्व रिसोर्स. रिजर्व मीन्स इट इज रिजर्व. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, नॉर्दर्न इंडिया has many rivers, and that river water can be utilized for the generation of hydroelectricity. Okay, or electricity generation, power generation. Okay, but we have not utilized that, we have reserved that. Now, resources on the basis of ownership. Ownership means who is the owner, malik kane. On that basis, number one, individual resource. Individual means owner is an individual. For example, I might have two-wheeler, I might have four-wheeler, I might have plot of land. That means the plot of land which I have, the two-wheeler which I have, the four-wheeler which I have, those all are the individual resource, because there the ownership is only mine. If anybody wants that two-wheeler or the four-wheeler which is mine, the person has to take permission from me. Without my permission, nobody can use that. So individual resource, व्यक्तिगत resource. Number B, community resource. Community means समुदाय. That means the owner is not an individual, but all the members of the community. Okay, that means community resource owner is not an individual but all the members of a community. For example, village playground, all the members of the village, they might have contributed some money for the construction of that playground, and they all are the owner over there. Similarly, village pond, all the villages they can use that pond. Okay, village pond, village public ground are the community resource. Third one, the national resource. National resource means all the resources of a country. All the resources of a country is called the national resource, we can say, simple one. And secondly, we also can say if a country share its boundary with ocean. For example, India share its boundary with ocean. That means the southern India, if you see on the image, southeastern part it is sharing border with the Bay of Bengal, and southwestern part it is sharing border with Arabian Sea. So if a country like this share boundary with ocean or the sea, in that case what happens, from the coastline, that means from that land boundary up to 12 nautical mile, that means 22.2 kilometer, that is from the coastline of India up to 22.2 kilometer in the sea, that is also the national resource. That means there the resources we can use up to 22.2 kilometer from our coastline to the Arabian Sea or the Bay of Bengal. Okay, that is also national resource. Now the last one is the international resource. International resource means here the resource beyond 200 nautical mile. That means from the coastline of India, there is the arrow 200 nautical mile, and beyond 200 nautical mile, that means 200 nautical mile के बाद ओशन में जितना भी रिसोर्स होगा वो इंटरनेशनल रिसोर्स है, वो किसी कंट्री का नहीं है. दैट मीन्स 200 nautical miles मीन्स यहाँ पर होता है 370 किलोमीटर. दैट मीन्स इंडिया का कोस्ट लाइन से 370 किलोमीटर के बाद जो भी रिसोर्सेस जो है वो सभी इंटरनेशनल रिसोर्स में काउंट किया जाएगा. और फिर वहां पर वन मोर पॉइंट, दैट इज द ईईजेड, एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन. व्हाट इज एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन? एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन ऑफ इंडिया, दैट इज फ्रॉम द कोस्ट लाइन अप टू 200 नॉटिकल माइल. दैट मीन्स 370 किलोमीटर तक का एरिया में हम लोग अपना रिसोर्स वगैरह एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं. वो एरिया है एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन. That means the exclusive economic zone means the area in the sea where we can exploit the resource. Okay, and first one up to 12 nautical mile, that means 22.2 kilometer, that is the national resource of India. And again up to 200 nautical mile, that is the exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone means the area in the sea where a country has the right to exploit the resource. And beyond 200 nautical mile, that means beyond 370 kilometer, that is the international resource. That is not the resource of any country. Okay, that means इंडिया का कोस्ट लाइन से 12 नॉटिकल माइल, दैट मीन्स 22.2 किलोमीटर दूरी तक सी में वो इंडिया का ही नेशनल रिसोर्स काउंट किया जाएगा. तो इस केसेस में अगर पाकिस्तान का कोई मछुआरा वहां पर आ जाता है तो हम उसको पकड़ करके जेल में डाल सकते हैं, पनिश कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि वहां पर वही कानून लागू होगा जो हमारा देश में हम लोग लागू कर सकते हैं. वही कानून हम वहाँ 22.2 किलोमीटर तक हम लोग इम्पोज कर सकते हैं. और फिर उसके बाद 200 नॉटिकल माइल, दैट मीन्स 372 किलोमीटर तक वो एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन है. दैट मीन्स वो 200 नॉटिकल माइल तक का रिसोर्सेस हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं. किंतु 12 नॉटिकल माइल तक तो हम अपना कानून जो देश में चलाते वो वहां पर चला सकते थे, किंतु बाकी जो 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स तक का एरिया जो है वहां तक हम रिसोर्स यूज कर सकते हैं. किंतु ऐसा नहीं कि हम यहाँ पर अपना कानून चलाए. अपना जो देश में कानून जो बनता है, जो देश में कानून हम लोग चला सकते हैं, वही कानून हम यहाँ पर इम्पोज नहीं कर सकते. हम वो कर सकते हैं 12 नॉटिकल माइल्स तक. इसीलिए 12 नॉटिकल माइल्स के अंदर में कोई भी अगर पाकिस्तान के अंदर किसी भी कंट्री का शिप वगैरह बिना परमिशन आया तो हम उसको पनिश कर सकते हैं अपना कानून के अकॉर्डिंग. किंतु 12 नॉटिकल माइल के बाद 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स तक जो है उस एरिया हम नहीं कर सकते हैं. और उन लोगों का भी जांच वगैरह आ सकता है, घूम सकता है, ठीक है ना, पाकिस्तान का भी. हाँ, हम रिसोर्स एक्सप्लोर हम लोग करेंगे, रिसोर्स का यूज हम लोग करेंगे. और 200 नॉटिकल माइल के बाद रिसोर्स का यूज हम लोग ऐसे ही नहीं कर सकते हैं, ठीक है ना. उसके लिए ये इंटरनेशनल रिसोर्स है, तो ये इसके लिए ये इंटरनेशनल आपका जो होगा परमिशन जरूरी है. थैंक यू. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ एग्जिस्टेबिलिटी, एग्जिस्टेबिलिटी मीन्स वेदर दे फिनिश, खत्म होता है या नहीं. On the basis of exhaustibility, resources can be divided into two: A. Renewable, and B. non-renewable. Renewable means which can be renewed. For example, all the living resource. All the living resource is called renewable resource because the living thing, they have the capacity to reproduce. So if they reproduce, then they will keep reproducing. They will never finish. And at the same time, air, water and sunlight, they are also the renewable resources. Why? They will not reproduce, but we have been using them from the time immemorable, and we will continue using them for the coming million of years. That means their stock is unlimited, we can say. That's why air, water and sunlight are also renewable. And second one is the non-renewable. Non-renewable means which cannot be renewed. For example, minerals. Once we use, we cannot use it again. And at the same time, fossil fuels also non-renewable. Fossil fuels, you might sometimes think that fossil fuels, it forms itself. Okay, yes, definitely it forms itself, but the rate at which we are using the fossil fuels, it is very fast. Consumption rate is very high, but the rate at which the fossil fuels forms, it takes millions of years. मतलब फॉसिल फ्यूल्स बनने के लिए बहुत समय लगता है, मिलियन ऑफ ईयर्स लगता है, किंतु जिस रेट में हम लोग इसका कंजम्पशन कर रहे हैं, अकॉर्डिंग टू सम रिसर्च, इन कमिंग 50 years the petroleum reserve, it will be totally exhausted. That's why the fossil fuels and the minerals are also counted under non-renewable.